Okay, so I'm joined now by James from World Radio League. James, you've, I know, been putting a lot of effort into this contest as well on the live scoring side, which we'll get into in just a moment. But first of all, a bit about the history. You know, when we go back to the beginning of even 20 years ago in contesting, people were submitting paper logs. You know, to take days and days to get the logs even to the adjudicators before a very manual checking process. We need to get the results out of this contest by Monday, by the day after it finishes. How are we taking that approach?
Yeah, excellent question, Dom, and thanks for having the conversation with me today. So we're certainly standing on the shoulders of giants, so to speak. There's a long history of WRTC and how the live scoring, or the scoring just in general, has advanced throughout the years. I mean, going back until the early 2000s, where people were handing out Nokia cell phones, and then the referee would be texting scores back to HQ every so often, so people at HQ could keep track of the scores. In Italy, the most recent, they started pioneering more of this sort of live system with it that had its hiccups, and then us at World Radio League, we were selected by Mark and WRTC team for a partnership in order to bring something that we think is really, really special this year for 2026, which is a full live scoreboard, real time. As soon as the action goes live, which is in just another 16 hours, everybody at home is going to be able to see every single point, every single contact on the board, and then even hunt those stations in real time and see sort of your bingo card of working those stations. So I would say, you know, our approach has just been, we wanted to create something that was really fun, something that got people at home excited to participate and to spectate, and maybe even bring in some folks who were ham radio adjacent or maybe newer to the hobby in addition to the contesters, as well as something that really puts the spotlight on some of the amazing contesters in the event.
So people watching at home may think, well, you know, lots of logging software can send their QSOs over the internet, but we've got a bit of a constraint here, which is the fact that our competitors are not allowed internet access. Their cell phones get taken away from them, where they have no internet connection on their logging PCs. How do we get live QSO data back here? Because that's actually been quite an engineering challenge.
Yeah, so I mean that's an excellent question. So we sort of had the same question at first as well when we were approached with the partnership and we started looking at it. We thought, oh well, we'll just install an agent on those laptops and we'll collect the QSO broadcast that way and send it back to the cloud. Well, yeah, not so simple when you need the competitor laptops to be all offline to level the playing field and to ensure that they're not receiving spots, because this is a non-assisted contest. So I believe, as far as I know, the first team to pioneer sort of having a separate scoring computer was Germany at 2018, and then they brought that to Italy in 2022, and then we've taken that and then the approach of having the Raspberry Pi, and then we've built on it. So in 2026, what's really unique, we've actually written all of the software that runs on the Pi completely from scratch. And we, instead of just taking the score broadcast, we're taking the broadcast UDP at the QSO level. So this is really what you would call true real-time contesting, because with the QSO level data, we're able to get a lot more granular, and it gives a lot more of capabilities to the spectators at home. You can see more of a live play-by-play. You can see when somebody finds that band opening, or when they make a decision that maybe changed the course of the contest. We're going to be able to see that. And that's also how we give you the great operator statistics for the casual operator. You know, me, even as part of World Radio League, I can't compete with these guys, but I can compete to be the top hunter for my state, for instance. So it creates a lot of a fun way for people at home to get involved. And if you are at home, go to worldradioleague.com, log in, and try to work some of these stations, because you only have 24 hours, and these could be some of the coolest contacts you ever get in your logbook.
Absolutely. Well, we'll come onto the live scoring and the website in just a moment, but you know, just to drill into that engineering challenge a little bit more, I guess. So the competitor laptops, as you say, they don't have internet access, but they do have access to a local network.
Yes.
You're capturing the broadcasts from that local network onto a Raspberry Pi. That Raspberry Pi does have internet access over a cellular network, I think.
Exactly. So, and I have to give a big shout out to Andy G4PIQ with this regard, because he built all of those Pis out at the stations, and he handled the networking side of it. And then at World Radio League, we built the software, the UDP packet sniffer that transmits that back. So that's correct. Each one of those Pis comes equipped with a cellular dongle that connects over 4G LTE. I think they actually even have 5G on them. And then transmits that over cellular, comes back to our server so we can do the scoring. So it's funny, even some of the stations where they have a little bit of spotty cell from their phones, I guess the antenna is a bit stronger on our USB dongles, and we're actually able to receive really, really well from all those stations. But as you can imagine, it's a technical challenge, but it's also quite a logistical challenge because we have to manage that entire fleet of 50 Pis. So throughout the course of this week, we've had contestants coming in, connecting their logging computers, receiving QSOs, doing multiple tests to make sure all the data is received accurately, and to avoid as many hiccups as we can in the field. And today was the first day that they actually went out to the field, and we received QSOs from all the stations. So we're looking really, really good at this point. But it's, again, we have sort of our mission control where we'll be monitoring all of those. And there's also, I want to say this is important as well, we're not just monitoring those to make sure for the live scoreboard aspect, but there's also a fairness aspect when it comes to the spotting. Because if we handle an automatic spotting capability on those Pis. If any of the contestants logs 2 consecutive QSOs on the same frequency on SSB, we will automatically spot them to the cluster. Now, if one of those stations has a temporary network disruption, we have to disable spotting across all of those Pis instantly. So we've built a special sort of polling mechanism for that will then turn, if any of those Pis go offline, we're constantly pinging them. We can disable spotting across the board, and we even have some backup spotting mechanisms. So it's quite the architecture.
Yeah, I bet it is. And actually, you preempted my next question there, actually, because I was going to say that the one of the novelties in contesting, I guess, in the last 12, 15 years has been the advent of the reverse beacon network on CW. Exactly. In particular. This is this automated system where effectively as soon as you call CQ on CW, your frequency and your call sign get sent out over the DX cluster, everyone can come find you. Now in a multi-mode contest where you've got both CW and SSB, that potentially gives CW a massive advantage. Exactly. So this infrastructure that you've built neutralizes that advantage because in effect you get the advantage of the RBN on SSB as well. As soon as you make those 2 QSOs on the same frequency, you get spotted every 10 minutes.
Yep, every 10 minutes.
And and I guess the reason you do it after every 2 QSOs is that, if somebody goes and searches and pounces to get a new mult, you don't want that to count as a spot.
Exactly. Yeah. If you spot it after every single QSO, you would have people searching and pouncing, getting spotted, and then causing all kinds of chaos and confusion. So yeah, we look for those too. But 2 is pretty quick. I mean, it's going to be very fast.
Absolutely. Yes. So we should be seeing lots and lots of spots. It should be very easy to find these WRTC call signs during the contest. So, as I say, we're going to be showing the live score page on our web stream throughout the contest. But, as you say, this is something that people can see at home. So do you want to sort of show us around a bit, around the WRTC, the WRL page here on the website?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very, very easy to find. Just go to www.worldradioleague.com, and then you'll see the banner. Click that. It'll take you right to the live scoreboard. And from the live scoreboard, when you get to the home page, you're pretty much right in the action. So you can see right now when you're seeing participants and contacts logged, you're seeing a little bit of our test data as that's coming in. Expect that number to climb very quickly as the contest starts off.
But it will start at 0 at the beginning of the
contest. It will start at 0 at the beginning of the contest. Now, you can check your stats. I'll show you that in a moment. But I think what you see front and center is what you guys are doing, Dom, and the media team, which I think is going to be phenomenal. So what we've done is we've just added the ability to incorporate your and the media team's work right into the scoreboard. And I think this is going to be such a really new way to experience the contest and the live scoreboard altogether, because you're getting more commentary, you're getting more information as the contest goes on. So I would recommend everybody to watch those live streams. And then coming in, you get into the scoreboard, but not without a little disclaimer, the live scoreboard is not final. I think we need to, everyone, just as you're watching this, take it with a bit of a grain of salt. We expect a little bit of variance. It is possible that a couple QSOs are lost. It's possible even that someone does lose a network connection. So we don't want anyone to feel slighted if their favorite team moves a little bit in the rankings one way or the other.
And there is a whole adjudication process and a log checking process on Monday as well, which will happen after all this.
Yeah, after the contest ends, the contestants will have only 30 minutes to submit those Cabrillo logs, and the judging committee will get straight to work. But that is not managed by this system, so I'll be clear about that. Now, as you go in, you can see the top 3 sort of get a special featured spot, but you'll see the profiles, and you can actually click in and get a little bit more information on the bios of any of them. As you come into the main live scoreboard here, you can see number of QSOs, fastest QSOs per hour, overall QSOs per hour, QSO points, and then your overall points. So it's default just going to rank you by the number of total points, so it'll be your leaderboard. But if you want to come in and get some more detail on QSO rates, who's achieving the most multipliers, feel free to sort that in as well. And right on the home page, you'll kind of have an access point to some of the most important information like spots. What you'll notice is that the call sign that the team is using is never attached to the team name. That's on purpose. So if you're trying to wonder what call sign corresponds to this team I'm trying to track, you're not going to find it, right?
And that's all part of the level playing field, the rules of WRTC.
Exactly. We don't want any cheerleading. We're not trying to encourage people to find their favorite team and try to make contacts with them. Of course, in any live ham radio contesting, like any sporting event, even if it's F1 or what have you, there's never a perfectly level playing field, but we take as much precaution as possible to level that playing field. Now, so that's your home page. Now, across the top here, this is your main navigation that you want to get familiar with, and it provides easy access to all the different points. There's always a timer. So as we're filming this right now, we're 16 hours away. Maybe you're watching this a little bit closer, but you'll see that clock change when it goes live, and it'll start to a countdown timer, so you can see the 24 hours countdown of the time of the contest itself. You've got a quick access to your leaderboard, the top WRTC hunters. You need to use this page. If you're at home and you're hunting the WRTC stations, you've got 50 call signs you can hunt. Try to hunt them all and see how many of them you can work, and you can try to work them on all the bands and modes as well. So you 80, 40, 20, 15, 10, SSB, CW, try to make contacts with them, and you could see how you rank for your continent as well as your country. And WRTC maybe even have some special awards for some of the top hunters as well. So.
And it should be really easy to find these call signs as well. They've got all the special MB call signs, so it should be really easy to spot these. Yeah,
exactly. It's an MB, I guess they've worked with Ofcon to get these special call signs assigned. So then the spotting, so you don't have to scroll down on the home page to find the spots. You can just go to the spotting page itself within WRL on the event page. Or you can go to your favorite spotting network. Again, we're going to be sending those to the most popular spotting networks. Statistics is for a deep dive. You're not going to see anything here yet, but something to look forward to here is sort of that contest replay. You'll be able to see in real time a replay as teams move up and down in their ranking, which is very exciting. And then everybody's favorite, the bingo card. This is the My Stats. How many of the 50 stations have you worked? And since there's 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10, SSB or CW, there's actually 500 total slots that you could work, which, I mean, that's quite challenging, I think, right? I mean, if you're getting close to doing all 500 of those, then kudos to you. You would do better than I would. But you do have 500 possible total WRTC points you can earn.
Excellent. So loads and loads of features there, both for the hunters. You've got the statistical information, and as you say, it's supplemented by the commentary that we'll be doing as well. So it should be a really immersive experience throughout the contest for people to just get engaged and have those QSOs with the WRTC participants. Yeah. So
I'll mention one thing I almost forgot is there is a built-in logbook you can use here as well. But you can use the logbook that's built right in with World Radio League for maybe easy access. But even if you're using any other logbook, your stats are still going to show up because we have the QSO data from the stations, right? So if you just search your call sign on the stats page, all of your stats will show up.
Of course, absolutely, brilliant. So James, thank you so much for coming in. It's fantastic to see the amount of work that's gone into this. As I say, hoping to get this really engaging experience for everyone chasing the stations. Thanks very much for all your efforts.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Cheers.